Pembino. 21-year-old Juan Soto is from Santo Domingo. We're in Puntacana this week for our coverage, round one of the third event on the PGA Tour schedule. And so far, Mark Carnival, we've had good scoring early and late. We have three players, two in the afternoon, in fact, tied at 7 under, and one still on the course, Tyler McCumber, who's getting it done on the front nine like a lot of players have today.
I would say scoring's been pretty good now. 76 players at 2 under or better. And I remind our listeners again, a year ago, the PGA Tour changed its rules on the cut, changed it to 65 in ties. There's no secondary cut on the weekend. So as a player, you need to get there. And if you get to that point, you'll play the 36 holes on the weekend. But yeah, great scoring. 7 under par leads. Maybe Tyler can get to 8 under. Again, I think he's very comfortable here. The guy, he loves to surf. I know he's traveled all over the world surfing, and obviously feels very comfortable here in the Dominican Republic. And a player that's had some injuries in his young career has battled back, but seems to be playing awfully well this week.
Well, someone who should feel comfortable, has played well here before, back when it was a Corn Ferry Tour event. Scott Harrington, 2016, shot share the course record, a 62 for the 18-hole record. He went out today and shot 65 to tie for the lead, standing by right now with Will Haskett.
Scott, that inward 9 had a little bit of everything, but a great start for you this week.
Yeah, no, I'm really pleased. Anytime 7 under's great round. There was a little breeze this afternoon, so I'm really happy to get in with a good one and get a first crack in the morning. And I played well. I putted well. Just really one bad swing on the par 5, but I'm really happy. Feel comfortable around here. So looking forward to the rest of the week.
And you've got great history here. You had the Corn Ferry Tour record at the time, one of those low rounds here. What do you like about this place?
Well, for starters, it's just really pretty. It's pretty easy to, I feel like sometimes when I'm on the islands or when we're out of the country, it's a little easier. You're just naturally really relaxed. But obviously off the tee, it's not super demanding. The fairways are pretty generous. I feel like I can, as a kind of a longer player, I feel like I can kind of let it rip a little bit. The greens you can be really aggressive on. They're sloped, but where all the pins are, if you get it kind of inside 15 feet, the putts don't have a lot of movement, and so you can be really aggressive with your putter. Really it's just kind of the scenery, and it's a nice place to come.
And obviously last year, this time of the year, you got off to a good start. How important is now this fall's even thicker? You understand the value of playing well this time of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. It really made my year a heck of a lot easier. And I really struggled this calendar year. There were just a number of things, golf swing, ball striking, that I was really struggling with. And but I never, that start in the fall, I never really had to panic. I kind of knew my card was secure, and obviously, I knew I was going to get in a lot of good tournaments. And definitely, my second year out here, I know the value of getting off to a good start in the fall and how it can really set up your year, and you can perhaps play your way into some really nice events. And that's the goal. And I really, really worked hard in the 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks from Boston till Napa, and I made some fairly significant golf swing changes that I really would have loved to have a month or two to do, and I crammed it in 2 weeks. I never worked harder in my life, and so I'm really excited about. I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm really excited about what I'm doing, and kind of coming up and getting more comfortable with things.
Great start. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go, Earl. Another player that's made some changes, like Josh Bramlett. Really good off the tee today for Scott Harrington. 14, hit every fairway, 14 to 14 fairways. Struggled a little bit with his iron game, 12 of 18 greens in regulation, but he was able to scramble 5 of 6 times. So, great start for a guy. And again, good memories, positive memories after winning here when it was a Corn Ferry Tour event.
Yeah, and he talked about the quick start for him last year as a rookie. Part of that was a runner-up finish, tie for second at the Houston Open, tied Mark Hubbard for second. Like he said, it kind of set everything up for him for the rest of the year. It was a playoff season for him as a rookie, but you just heard him mention, too, something he told us a couple of weeks ago at the Safeway Open, that he spent the 2-week break he had between seasons working harder than he's ever worked before, Kevin.
Pat Perez just inside of 20 feet, hole high, right at the 17th. Strokes the ball, rolling towards hole, tracking, good line, just goes over the right edge. Did not come down towards the front of the green and into the cup. Tap in par 4, Perez. Charles Howell III nearly hopped it in with his chip shot short of the green. He tapped in for his par. So Perez 2 under, Charles Howell the third 3 under, heading to the final hole, the 18th.
And that's the end of the Devil's Elbow there, that finishing stretch of 16, 17, and 18, really kind of a signature of this golf course at Corrales Golf Course, and really the place today in that Devil's Elbow, as they call it, Carney, where you can pick up birdies. We've had 32 of them now at the 18th hole, so that's a chance to make dinner taste good coming in at 18 today for you.
I don't think there's any question. Wind helping the players kind of off the tee there. Certainly helping with that par 4 18th, making that play a bit easier. So we'll see if it maintains that wind direction as we go through the remainder of the tournament. But certainly today, it's given players an opportunity.
Yeah, it has, and not a lot of trouble, really, just 10 bogeys and 1 double, and that's the other factor there. Not really a spot where a lot of players are stumbling coming in at the 18th. That spot is the 9th hole. It's a par 3. It's 204 on the scorecard, and that has been consistently one of the tougher ones today. So a little more difficult finish on the front 9, and that's where Tyler McCumber, one of our co-leaders, is going to finish. That's where Sepp Straka, Scott Harrington got in at 7 under as well. Will?
An absolute perfect tee ball at the par 4-6 for Tyler McCumber, one of just 2 par 4s on the property that measures inside of 400 yards. Little wedge just outside 100 yards to a back middle hole location that is very gettable today. McCumber at 7 under drives the wedge in low. Just needs to put on the brakes pretty quickly, just over the top of the flagstick. It takes a huge skip over the back of the green and into the collection area. It's only about 2 feet or so off the surface of the green. The pitch mark's about 2 inches away from the cup, but at that low trajectory, just carried it a bit too far. Birdie effort will be a chip, likely with putter from outside of 15 feet off the back edge of the green for Tyler McCumber here at 6.
We're just mentioning the challenge at the 9th hole. Let's go there now, Bill Rosinski.
Actually, we're here at 18, Earl. This is the finishing hole of the Devil's Elbow, and this is Hudson Swafford. Wedge in hand, took a driver out off the tee and really cut the corner and hits a really good second shot in here. That's going to miss the hole on the right side, but that's about maybe 5 to 7 feet away. That'll be a birdie try for Hudson Swafford. That'll be the easiest putt he's had in the last 4 holes. So Swafford, big tee shot over the Bay of Corrales. Had a short iron in hand and has got a great look here for birdie. He's 6 under, looking to get to 7 to close out this first round.
Well, it's been a place. A lot of golfers have picked up birdies, and Hudson Swafford's putting so well. I'd be stunned if he didn't make that one, Carney, to make it 4 at 7 under par to close it out with a birdie.
Well, it would certainly be fitting. Again, couple great saves, and a little off the fairway there on 18, but again, a good look to finish it off.
Which would be, for as far as I can tell, and I've been pulling up numbers, I believe still 4 under is the best back 9 score we've had today. Yeah, there have been 4 32s on the back 9. One was Sepp Straka. So for Hudson Swafford also, that's for the best back 9 of anyone at 31, coming in to get a share of the lead with 5 back 9 birdies, Will.
As expected, a putter in the hands of Tyler McCumber. He's taken the flagstick out as well over the back of the green here at 6. Get it onto the surface, bumped once, now on a line, tracking to the cup to the right side, and just peels off on the right edge. That was a good effort from just off the back edge of the green for Tyler McCumber, who can now lick his chops for the reachable par 5 coming up at 7. Taps in for par here at 6 to stay 7 under with 3 to go.
Yeah, the Eagles are flying on the front 9, both par 5s. We've had 7 at the 4th, where Tyler McCumber made Eagle get a share of the lead. There have been 6 so far and 59 birdies at that 7th hole. So a great chance for one of our co-leaders to maybe make it a solo lead as Tyler McCumber comes in on the front.
Well, I think Tyler, again, a player that has had success on different tours. PGA Tour Latino America has had success on the Korn Ferry Tour, and again has battled some injuries. Has had signs of playing well on the PGA Tour. But right now seems to be healthy and in a great position in this opening round.
And also in great position, Hudson Swafford, 1 back, chance to birdie 18 and tie for the lead in 60 seconds.
23 PGA Tour wins.
So that major medical, how about a share of the lead? He's at 18 with an opportunity He's made a bunch of birdies on the back nine already. This for a closing 31 coming in, Bill, for a share of the lead on a week where he really needs it.
Well, Hudson Swafford, little twirl the putter as he walks in for this birdie try here at 18. This is just inside 8 feet. Don't see a lot of break in this. And this for 31 on the back nine. Sends it to the cup and right in the heart again. Boy, what a clinic he put on. So Hudson Swafford finishes with a 7 under, 65-31 on the back nine.
So, Earl, I'm guessing with 3 rounds of 7 under par in the afternoon's easier than the morning.
You'd have to say at the top, man, those low scores. And it was going for a while where, midway through these rounds in the afternoon, not many players were getting to 3 under even. And we were wondering if anybody was going to come close to Sepp Straka. How about 4 guys catching him now, 3 guys in the afternoon to make it a 4-way tie?
Well, they're all slow starters. Interesting enough, that's just 23 putts for Hudson Swafford. He only hit 12 greens, but 23 putts. That's pretty solid. And it's 3 1-putts in a row to finish off. That last one being a birdie there, Earl. So he's keeping that focus, and what a finish.
Yeah, and those birdies, a lot of these players have, look, Sepp Straka did make 4 birdies starting out on the back nine earlier, but the runs have come on the front nine. Hudson Swafford does it on the back nine, and 2 of those 5 birdies, 2 of the toughest holes of the day at 10 and 11, kind of for him set the tone coming in, and finishes with the best 9-hole stretch on the back nine so far today with a 31 coming in to tie for the lead.
Yeah, without question. Kept the focus, and again, a little erratic with the iron play, missing a bunch of greens, but a couple of those were just on the fringe. So obviously those are numbers that people keep track of. But if you're a player, if you hit it on the fringe and you're inside 20 feet, I don't think you consider that a missed green personally.
Well, and the numbers tell us there's almost 100 players under par today. Just look, a great golf course, and it's out there for players. If they hit fairways, it seems, you're going to have wind, obviously, on seaside golf courses near the Caribbean. A lot of these holes run alongside the Caribbean in the water, but it's wind that's not holding scores down. That'd be enough today. Tyler McCumber with his par 5 at 7. Now, there have been some birdies at 8 today. Who knows what it's going to take to have that lead by the end of the day now.
Well, certainly. Again, we see it every week, Earl. You're kind of thinking players are going to, be around this number. Next thing you know, at the end of a round, someone just puts it all together. And these guys, the commercial said these guys are good, but they are good, and they go out and they work hard. And if the opportunity presents themselves, they're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and it continues, even though it's a new season. Talking about themes, and we were talking about this very early in the return to golf back in June on the PGA Tour. Look, last week's an aberration. We know that. Scoring has been terrific. No matter where these players have gone, no matter what country, what course they're playing, it seems every day, every week, Kevin, these guys are just lighting it up.
Yeah, these guys are good. Remember that old phrase? It continues on here. Charles Howell III, wedge in hand, approached 18, holds the finish, 3/4, and boy, he turned that over right to left, and the ball continues to roll further away from the hole. It's hole high left, but outside of 20 feet for a closing birdie attempt.
Yeah, really, good distance control there, but just offline, and particularly good distance with the fact that it's downwind.
Pat Perez, good drive middle of the fairway. He also with wedge and abbreviated finish. This is headed towards the right side and just catches the fringe. There's what Karn was just talking about. I would consider that a green irregulation, even though it's just off on the right side. He'll have a good look for birdie.
Yeah, Pat may not think that way, Kevin, but I'm with you there. He's inside 25 feet. He's going to have a decent look, try to convert his birdie.
A lot of birdies being made, especially in the last couple of hours now, with 3 of the 4 co-leaders in the afternoon wave. Hudson Swafford, Scott Harrington, Tyler McCumber to catch Sepp Straka atop the leaderboard. So 4 players at 7 under on day 1. You're listening to the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship on PGA Tour Radio. Stanley Kraft also eagled 7, the par 5. So how about that finish? Eagle at 7, hole in 1, another one at the 9th. Wow.
Pretty amazing. Of course, Kelly Kraft, former winner of the U.S. Amateur, of course, attended SMU like the winner of last week's U.S. Open, Bryson DeChambeau.
That's one heck of a way to cap things off. Maybe that awaits Tyler McCumber. I mean, 9 has been a difficult hole the entire day. We've talked about how tough it is. It's been right there as the second toughest hole, both par 3s on the front, number 2 and number 9. And suddenly, on a hole that's had 25 bogeys, a double, and another 16 birdies. I mean, we've had a smattering of them. You get a hole-in-one, an ace at that par 3, that 9th hole, 200 plus on the scorecard. Not a bad way to end your day in paradise with an ace at the 9th.
Not bad is right. I mean, that's just crazy. And obviously, we see things happen in the game of golf all the time, Earl, and that's hole-in-ones are pretty special. I unfortunately never had one in competition. I've had them, but that's a pretty cool way. And that's something that actually could, helps your confidence, gives you plenty of adrenaline. He may want to play another 9 holes, but unfortunately his day is done after shooting 400 and playing the last. How about this? He played the last 7 holes, 6 under par.
Yeah, with a couple of birdies to start after dropping a shot, making the turn there, and gets a couple of birdies back-to-back, and then goes eagle par hole-in-one to finish things up. A couple of double circles late in that round. What a terrific finish. And it kind of holds up with scoring. Mark, you were saying I know what the numbers are saying, but we see all these 7-unders, 3 of the 4 in the afternoon. It seems like the advantage maybe for those guys, after all, today, at least the low numbers, and they're going to get to flip it around and go back out early on Friday.
Well, it is the momentum. And, the guys that are finishing right now, they'll be out on the golf course in about 12 hours or so, maybe a little more for some of them. But you kind of keep that momentum where the players that finished this morning, it's almost 24 hours before they get back on the golf course. And there is some validity to that. I was always a player that liked to play late and then early because particularly if you were playing well, it keeps that momentum going. And you can kind of ride that wave a little bit.
And some of those early starts like we had today, same holes again tomorrow, those are really early starts, Will.
Just a beautiful tee ball from Tyler McCumber, one of the longest on the PGA Tour, down the left-hand side of the par 5 7th. Just a long iron back into the breeze to the middle right hole location here at this par 5. Already with 1 eagle on a par 5 here in his inward 9, looking for 2. McCumber, crisp contact right at the flagstick, turning over slightly left, needs to go. Oh, it ends up just short and left of the green. There's a collection area there, and it will hold on that sticky past palm grass just short of the green, but now it's a good club and a half short for McCumber. It'll be a pitch from there, trying to get it up and down for a birdie and 8 under. Tyler McCumber here at 7.
Well, that's just, again, a great start there. And got a couple holes to finish it off and see if he can post the low round of the day.
Well, I was just checking my text messages. Nothing yet from Dad. I'm sure Mark is keeping a close eye on this. I mean, he lives and dies with every shot that Tyler hits. Tyler's a pretty laid-back guy, and Mark is very proud of him. And man, what a start for both McCumbers, Dad watching and Tyler today, to really get something going after, like you said, Carney's kind of working through some physical stuff, it seemed, and struggling a little bit. Not today, with a great start on the back 9, birdie at 10, 12, and 13, and that run of birdie eagle at 2, 3, and 4 here on the front 9, and a chance here to par 5 at 7 to maybe add to it.
Well, I think so, and Tyler's a guy again. It's very young in his career on the PGA Tour. Again, played PGA Tour Latino America. Has played the Korn Ferry Tour. Played Mackenzie PGA Tour Canada. Missed the cut at the Safeway Open, and of course, last season, Tyler, at times struggled. Finished 161st. Did not have a top 10. So great opportunity here.
Will, down to you.
Where Tyler just hit his pitch shot here at the par 5 7th and missed it on the high side. It's only rolled by the cup about 3.5 feet, but it is above the hole. It'll be a slippery one coming up for Tyler McCumber, trying to get it up and down here for that birdie. And what an amazing start this could be to what could be a big week for Tyler McCumber. We mentioned his affinity for surfing, and he also likes to just get away from the game a lot. I almost feel like we heard from Scott Harrington earlier, this is a week where you feel like you're away from things even though you're still doing your job. So perhaps the vibes certainly playing effect. Tyler McCumber inside of 5 feet for birdie here at 7. That would get him to -8.
which would vault Tyler into the lead with 2 to play. And you come in, and 8 is not easy, but there have been 38 birdies there today. So this is a chance. You get one at 7. We just heard what happened at 9. We've just had an ace from Kelly Craft there. Look out, there's still 2 to play. The way he's playing, he gets one at 7, maybe add 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's certainly an opportunity. I think that, again, players, they're not thinking about, at least I hope they're not thinking about what they did last season, what they did even last week. I mean, you can only focus on what you're doing right now. And the goal for these players is trying to finish off this round is, again, get themselves in a position where come Sunday afternoon, they can compete for this title.
Tyler McCumber's low round on the PGA Tour this past season, Travelers Championship, shot 65 in the opening round. Does have a 61. He's played all these different tours. 61 was 2018 on the Mackenzie Tour, PGA Tour Canada, Kevin.
Well, a group finishing up at 9, Brian Stuard and Patrick Rodgers, they are on heaters right now. Stuard and Rodgers have birdied 6, 7, and 8. Stuard is to 4 under par, and Patrick Rodgers now 5 under par in the tee box at the 9th.
Yeah, we're quickly having to, take a closer look at those numbers on the front 9, which has been the easier of the 2 9s all day. And, really, the way I'm looking at it so far with scoring, it hasn't really changed much. It's about a shot under par, a little more than that on the front 9. But here we go. Carney, even more runs coming in on this front 9 today.
Well, again, it's hard to figure out why. I mean, golf is cyclical, Earl. All these golf courses, present different challenges to players. Players are playing differently at different times, and it looks like the wind has gotten up. I don't think the golf course is playing any easier. Players are just executing really good golf shots, and they're able to take advantage of it.
There is some cloud cover. You get the breezes, and it's been a warm, humid day, really, for the week, couple of days, and in the Dominican Republic. So even some of the players, Sepp Straka early mentioned that, so maybe it's just getting a little more comfortable, Kevin.
And Patrick Rodgers looks like a comfortable finish on that swing there as the ball's high into the air at the 9th, the par 3, and that it rolls by the right side of the hole towards the center of the surface. It'll be in the 20-foot range for a closing birdie, trying to close with 4 consecutive circles on the card and a chance to reach 6 under.
And also in that front 9, couple of holes back, Tyler McCumber, a co-leader for the outright lead, a birdie try at 7 in 60 seconds.
The PGA Tour champions are
4 players at 7 under par. 1 is still on the course, Tyler McCumber, who's on a par 5. He's already made an eagle as he finishes on the front 9 here, and he's got a great chance at a par 5 to take the outright lead. We've discussed his affinity for traveling, loves going different places, likes to enjoy some time alone to himself. But he has, traveled around the world. His dad, Mark, our colleague, has talked about it, so he must love this trip right now so far, Will.
It's funny. A lot of folks have driven by here trying to get out and get in position, knowing what Tyler's doing right now. And everybody says, which one's Tyler? They point to me, and I say, it's the one that doesn't look as much like Mark McCumber as he would thought. Bearded still. Tyler right now, dressed in black today with gray slacks, walks into a birdie putt here above the hole at the par 5 7th. There's been a lot of waiting on this par 5 today with some troubles around him. He's managed to stay focused. Now a little slider from 3.5 feet. Pulls the trigger to the cup. That one is center cut. And now your outright leader, Tyler McCumber, moves it to -8 with 2 to go.
That's awesome. Again, a player that, in his first season on the PGA Tour, struggled a little bit, struggled with starts, struggled with some of his play. Again, didn't have a top 10. I know he's had some injuries, but it's great to see him start. And it's a new season, another opportunity, and right now he's taking full advantage of that.
Yeah, it's a fresh start for all these players, and no better way to start things off than with an early lead in the 3rd event of the PGA Tour season for 2020-2021. A 3rd birdie on the front 9. Tyler McCumber with an eagle and 3 birdies on the front. Gets it to 8 under par, a bogey-free round, and 8th hole. I mean, there's a lot of birdie chances, a lot of birdies being made there today as well. 38 of them, so he's going to have another good chance the way he's playing, maybe to pick up one coming up at the 8th, Kevin.
Brian Stuard outside of 30 feet for birdie. Chance to reach 500, playing the par 3 ninth, his closing hole. This putting back towards that front left hole location, putting towards the blue ocean. Stuart, one backstroke there, ball rolling down, now turning right to left, now coming back to the right, has a chance, it goes down. Double breaker and bottom for Brian Stuard from long range. He's shaking his head but smiling, his 5 under par.
Oh, wow, what a way to finish your round there. And, of course, Brian Stuart's a winner on the PGA Tour, won the Zurich Classic New Orleans, is kind of battling around there and is, gets into the mix every now and then, Earl, and great start for him.
Well, that's a great way to cap it off. And alongside, Patrick Rodgers is hoping to cap off a round with a long one for him, which would be 4 in a row. So these are two players who have gotten it done late, and the leader is behind them with a couple of plays. So all these birdies being made at 8 and 9. Tyler McCumber, who's in front at 8 under, he's going to have a chance to get through this stretch in a moment, Kevin.
Patrick Rodgers to stick with his playing partner with 4 consecutive birdies to finish the round. To get to 6 under, strokes the ball, rolling towards the hole, now making that right turn, but it's going to turn too far to the right. He had the right read, just didn't play it far enough left. That'll be a tap-in par for Rodgers and a round of 67, 5 under par.
Yeah, I've seen a few players miss it right there, and Brian Stuard read it correctly, and Patrick kind of offline there, but should be able to handle the par safe.
Part of this great afternoon wave of scoring was Hudson Swafford. Birdied 4 of his first 5 of the back 9, finishing up there, and shoots 65, a round of 7 under. He spoke a moment ago to Bill Brzezinski.
Hudson, congratulations. Really nice round, 7 under 65. The back nine's tougher than the front. But you played really well. Your thoughts on how well this round went?
It was solid, yeah. Like you said, back nine's supposed to be a little tougher than the front for sure. Hit a lot of quality shots really all day. Hit a lot of good putts. Had a couple nice par putts there coming into the end. But you're going to need that around here. I mean, like you said, the back nine, there's a lot of 6 and 5 irons in par 4s and par 3s that are 240 and 200, with water. So it's a good finishing stretch for sure.
Rolling the rock, that long putt you made at 14, the par 5 for birdie. 16, you make a long one for par. Good putt at 17 for par. Did you just find something? You just like these greens? How good was the flat stick?
Yeah, no, my speed was really good today. I didn't really run any by or leave any short. I felt pretty comfortable with speed all week, and so when I feel like my speed's pretty dialed in, you don't expect to make the long one like at 14 and 16, but I hit really good putts and just had nice speed, and they kind of went in, so that was good. But yeah, I hit a lot of quality putts all day, even on the front nine when I had a couple just run over the edge or kind of wiggle offline, and just kind of stayed with it and made a couple late to make up for it.
You're on the major medical. You need, I think, 133 FedEx Cup points. Where is that in your mindset as you start playing a lot this fall, and especially when you start out with a round like this?
Yeah, it's been wearing on me there for a little bit because I had restarted my medical and I only needed maybe 19 points, but I only had one event. So I restarted, and it was wearing on me a little early on, and wasn't playing unbelievable golf, trying to predict outcomes, but kind of reset this past week. I actually played pretty good at Napa, but was getting a little frustrated, and just kind of had a reset with a mental coach, Dr. Brehm, and just every week's an opportunity. Like, I've been playing good golf, and just let it happen. And it's the hard work's kind of showing off now, and just try to take one shot at a time. I'm going to play golf the rest of my life and the rest of my career. So the major medical is just kind of got to put it back in the back burner.
Great stuff today. Keep it up the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was with Hudson a little bit towards the end of the season and saw him playing. You could tell he was getting frustrated, and I think that's a great thing. You just kind of back away from it, kind of forget it, and just try to go out and make it happen, and he certainly made it happen today.
Well, he said every week's an opportunity. What a good one for him now with this start, 7 under 65. Right now it's tied for second, but was a share of the lead when he closed out the round. You're going to maybe have to keep it going this week, Carney, but that's a great way to really put the medical out of your mind by, cashing in and forgetting about it.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, that's one way to forget about it quickly. You know, interesting talking about Tyler McCumber. I know when golf was shut down, for the 91 days, he spent a lot of time working with Rick Smith. Of course, Rick Smith, the player that's worked with a lot of golfers over the year, worked with Phil Mickelson for a long time, came up to Ponte Vedra, was working with him, and they were pretty pleased about what they were working on. And I think maybe right now we're starting to see some fruition of that hard work that Tyler put in, and now off to a great start today.
2 holes to play. Tyler McCumber 8 under. He's at the 8th. We'll see what he can do there in 60 seconds.
Play where the pros play and book your next golf vacation with the PGA Tour's TPC.
Apparently I like playing in humidity because it was really hot today. I mean, the front 9 was brutal. I was a little dizzy, honestly, on the first few holes after warming up. But luckily we kind of had this cloud cover come in and settled into it, so it wasn't too bad this afternoon.
Well, congratulations on the finish. Good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever done that before, Earl. 2 eagles in the final 3 holes, but I have birdied 4 in a row to finish, but that's a little something else. And, he talked about the humidity and everything, kind of a little dizzy starting off, and, it's a challenge, and good for him. Way to hang with it throughout the day, and then, of course, a little luck to finish it off, and good solid start.
In that stretch right now, the leader, Tyler McCumber, he was over the green at 8, but Will Haskett may have caught a break there, huh?
I do not know how this ball is still dry, Earl, but it is dry. It has just landed in, a sliver of grass. Over the back of this green is a closely mown area that sharply drops towards about 1.5 feet worth of rough, and then it goes down to a rocky, wet grave in the sea. But this ball has come to rest right directly on a red spray-painted hazard line, and directly in front of the golf ball, right where you would be coming through with the shot, is a sprinkler head or some sort of irrigation line right up against the boundary of this golf course in the edge. So a PGA Tour rules official is on the scene, and Tyler's going to see if that ball is indeed enough in play to take relief from that sprinkler head in the hazard, and if so, he could even drop into a better spot, because as the ball is sitting right now, it'd be a very difficult up and down.
So, in a perfect world, that
The ball's clearly in the hazard. It'd be like being on top of the bridge. In the hazard.
just having the sprinkler head and not in the
So they're on the edge of the grass there.
It's like it'd be like the bridge, if your ball's up against a bridge or something.
Will mentioned the red line there, and it sounds like the PGA Tour official has deemed that ball is in the hazard, Carney?
No, this way, guys.
Well, the ball is in the hazard, but it sounds like because it's in the hazard, it's like, for example, if there was a hazard line, and that was Jim Duncan, longtime PGA Tour rules official. It'd be like if it was a bridge in the hazard line, and if that bridge was in your way and you're in the hazard, you don't get relief from the bridge. So the sprinkler head, even though it's in his way, the sprinkler head is not in the hazard, and because he's in the hazard, he can't get relief from it.
So he's got to play it well?
Yeah, he played it sideways. I mean, if he tried to play forward, he'd run the risk of injury, that ball ricocheting and coming backwards. So he plays it out of the penalty area sideways and now is below the surface of the green in the closely mown area. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's opened up a little bit of space here, but it's no different than if you just taken a drop and taken a penalty shot. So a little bit confusing. Even his playing competitors up here curious as to why there wasn't relief given. They thought he was going to get it. He does not, and now is up on the green surveying what will be his par chip from below the back right portion of the screen here at 8.
Yeah, the challenge he has, though, now, Will, is that's an elevated green. The wind is kind of blowing left to right as he plays to this, and he's got to be careful with this shot as well, just because he's got to elevate the shot. Yeah, right where the wind is now, Karn, where he played it, he's going to go right back into the teeth of the breeze.
And from this angle, having chipped out sideways, he's probably opened up, I would say, another 15 feet worth of putting surface coming up the slope than when he originally was over the back of the green. A little bit more coming from the back right portion to a back left hole location. Through it, he got it low, trying to skip this one up onto the green, and it skids to a halt, but not before after running by some 8, 9, maybe outside of 10 feet. So the bogey putt will be no sure thing for Tyler either here at 8.
That's terrible. You just feel for any player, to have that. And, for all intents and purposes, that ball should have probably been in the hazard to begin with, or the penalty area, Earl. Got a little bit of a break, but then sometimes all breaks are not good ones. And, he had to play it sideways there, and now he's got to make a good putt for bogey.
Yeah, but it is a bogey for the lead because he's going to lose the outright lead. That bogey try to stay in a share in 60 seconds.
23 PGA Tour wins.
First player ever to win all 4 World Golf Championships.
Outright leader Tyler McCumber was 8 under par when he arrived, but now needs a 10-footer to only drop 1 at this short par 4. McCumber over the golf ball has straddled the line, trying to find the break. Now back to it, strokes it up the slope outside left, cutting right, catches the left edge and goes down. So only 1 shot given back here by Tyler McCumber, which was probably always going to be the case after blading that second shot over the back of this green with nowhere really to miss. It's a bogey, 7 under with 1 to go.
Yeah, all things said and done, good, but that's certainly added a little stress to it there, Earl. But a great putt there for Tyler to keep just dropping 1 shot.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship from Corrales Golf Course in the Dominican Republic. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update brought to you by MasterCard. Tap and go with your MasterCard. The simple, secure...
Under Joseph Bramlett and Shinjun Zhang, who have been done for hours after opening round 66s, and then 5 under. Large tie for 7th, and it's growing. We have 9 golfers in at 5 under par. Opening round 67s for Ricky Barnes, Cameron Percy, Justin Sue, David Hearn, Kyle Stanley, Jamie Lovemark, Sean O'Hare, Patrick Rodgers, and Brian Stuard, who is the only player in the field who could, with a win, move to number 1 in FedEx Cup points. Those players sit 2 shots back.
Charles Howell III, part of the featured group coverage today, shoots a 3 under par 69. Defending champion Graham McDowell, a 2 under par 70. 2 former FedEx Cup champions, Bill Haas and Henrik Stenson, both shoot a 2 under par 70. The ambassador for the Punta Cana Resort and Club, Emiliano Grillo, shoots a 2 under par 70 as well. And our own John Rollins, member of our broadcast team, a 1 over par 73.
And the Corn Ferry Tour this week, the pathway to the PGA Tour is at Crestview Country Club. 19th straight year there for the 31st playing of the Wichita Open, supporting Wichita's youth in Kansas. 3 players share the lead at 7 under par. It's Marty Doe, Jared Wolf, and Billy Tom Sargent. 3 players, 1 shot back at 6 under. Brad Hoppinger, Taylor Dixon, and Brandon Harkins.
We have 4 players sharing our lead on a Thursday at 7 under. One of them about to wrap up at the 9th. That's par 3, Will Haskett.
Boy, Earl, there are far worse places right now to finish up your workday than here at the par 3 9th. 183 yards today to a front right hole location, with the surf continuing to just knock away the shoreline to the players left. In fact, I was talking to the tournament directors a few holes ago, and they talked about when it gets really working out here, they can sometimes lose a bunker or 2 coming down these holes that finish on the front 9 against the ocean. No such worries this week, as we've got relatively calm conditions. What breeze there is right now, maybe 7 or 8 miles an hour, helping. And out of Tyler McCumber's left, off the bogey at 8, to the left side of the tee box, McCumber sends it into the sky. This is just outside left, now falling right with the breeze. Good looking line, just right of the hole, lands hole high right, grabs some spin, beautiful shot. Chance at a bounce back birdie here at the last. Tyler McCumber, that ball may have skipped just outside of 10 feet. That would be for a closing birdie and 8 under par.
Yeah, that was a 9-iron from 183, Earl. Again, a little bit of a helping wind kind of off the left, but really solid shot there for Tyler. Coming off the bogey, now an opportunity to bounce back and take the outright lead.
get it back to 8 under par and a chance to shoot the best round of his young PGA Tour career. 65 is his low score, 2020, last season, this past season at the Travelers Championship. Either way, whether it's the outright lead or share, coming in, Tyler McCumber has thrived in the afternoon like 3 of our 4 co-leaders. That would make a 4-way tie for the lead. So it's either going to be outright or share for him with looking at things and players on the course, not very many left. He's guaranteed at least a share of the lead going into Friday.
Well, it will be his best round outright to par, that's for sure. Currently it's 7 under 65, but par 72. So 7 under will be his best round. So good for Tyler. And again, he'll have a great look. I've seen a number of players putt from behind the hole there, and the ball moves just a little bit to his right. So we'll see if he's able to read that.
Well, you don't want to be over par. Brian Stuard was. I mentioned he's the only player in the field this week who could move to number 1 in the FedEx Cup point standings with a win. What a finishing kick, though. Comes home in 30, birdies 4 in a row to shoot a 67 5 under par start to the week. It all happened on that front 9 coming in. He's standing by with Bill Rosinski.
Brian, that's the way to finish, man. 4 birdies in a row, 5 in the last 6 holes. What happened out there? What clicked?
You know, I started hitting a few better iron shots. I was a little scratchy on my first 9, and was able to roll in a couple putts as well.
A lot of the guys I talked to today, just the heat, just certain parts of this golf course, it is unbearable. How did you deal with it today?
Yeah, I think you just have to make sure you drink plenty of water and, try to, I don't know, it's tough. It's really hot when there's no wind, so it's tough.
It's a good finish today. Keep it up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It is, and as you mentioned, an opportunity now. If things go Brian Stuard's way, Earl, he could be leader in FedEx Cup points.
Well, we've had 2 different ones in 2 weeks. Stuart Sink with a win at the Safeway Open to start this brand new season, and Bryson DeChambeau moves in front after winning his first major last week at the U.S. Open. Yeah, Stuart, there's that guy. If, he could win this week, he could make it 3 FedEx Cup points leaders in 3 weeks to start the season, and it's part of the importance of all these early season events, the 12 now, of record number in the fall portion of the schedule, and obviously played well in event 1 and trying to keep it going here. And what a way to finish. I mean, you're shooting over par midway through your round here with all the scores, Carney, and you knew you had to get on a run. He did. Coming in, 4 birdies in a row to shoot 30. Coming in, 5 under round.
It's interesting because obviously if you count the U.S. Open, that's 5 events leading up to the limited field events at the CJ Cup, which will be now at I can't think of the name of the golf course now. That's terrible. And then the Zozo Championship, which were scheduled in Asia, Shadow Creek, CJ Cup at Shadow Creek. Those are limited field events, so not a lot of these players will get in there. So they have a chance at 5 events leading up to those to really get some stuff done. And it's a great opportunity. And Brian Stuard has one, as all these players at the top of the leaderboard have the chance to get a jump start on this season.
Another one of the 5 under 67s this afternoon. Patrick Rodgers also spoke to Bill.
Patrick, a nice finish. Just talked to Brian, and you had a chance for 4 in a row there. Couldn't make the one at 9, but you still shoot 5 under 67. Your thoughts on how well you played today?
Yeah, I was really patient, which is great. I think that's always a virtue as a golfer and a professional golfer. So it was good to show some patience out there. I definitely didn't have my best stuff off the tee. It was kind of all over the place, and especially on a wide golf course like this, I was in some tricky spots. But I hung in there and managed a good round, and nice to finish the way I did for sure.
What's it like when you look at these tees and you've got these humongous fairways to hit? Is that, how do you approach that when sometimes you're going to play, especially in major events, the fairways are like 10 yards wide?
Personally, I'd rather have little narrower targets. Sometimes I have a difficult time sort of focusing in and locking in where I'm trying to hit it when it feels like I got a driving range out there. But I'm going to try my best to do that tomorrow, and it's a great golf course and a really enjoyable week, and so we're just trying to have a great time.
Thoughts on this new season for you? I think you finished 86th in the FedEx Cup points last year. You played a lot of golf, even with the shutdown. You had 27 events. What's the mindset, the goals for this year?
Yeah, I'm really trying to improve like I have every season, but I took a really critical look at my game after the season finished and really made the most of those 2 weeks. So I need to work hard on my short irons and my wedges, continue to drive the ball better, but I feel confident that I can get where I want to go. I just have to put the work in and put the time in to get there.
We'll hydrate up here, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Interesting enough, Patrick's a guy that came out of Stanford, the number one ranked amateur in the world, has one win on the Korn Ferry Tour, winning the 2015 Columbia Championship. Has yet to win on the PGA Tour, though.
Co-lead or the outright lead? What's it going to be for Tyler McCumber? Will's got the answer, Will.
No, Earl, it's always better when you can be low medalist by yourself on a Thursday. Downhill putt for birdie at the 9th for Tyler McCumber should move ever so slightly, I believe, from left to right early in this putt. McCumber strokes it down the line, cutting it back right to the right edge, and it kept going right and just missed low. I think he thought it was going to straighten out, and I think that was probably a pretty good read that just kept falling to the right-hand side and misses. Well, he got it all the way to 8 under par, but the bogey with the bad wedge from the bunker at 8 cannot pay off a good tee shot here at 9, but it's still an excellent Thursday start for Tyler McCumber at a 7 under 65.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've seen that putt a lot, Earl. We've seen very few players make that, and it just moves a lot further left to right than they think, and just so hard to judge the pace in the line when you're putting it downhill.
Yeah, where he was putting from at 9, and you mentioned it not too long ago. So many players have been missing to the right from that side. He hit a great tee shot. It was pretty aggressive with that tee shot into the par 3. Can't make it pay off with a closing birdie, but 4th round now in at 7 under 65, a third one in the afternoon. We've got a log jam atop the leaderboard on day 1.
Yeah, a great start. I'm sure he's disappointed. You'd hate to drop a shot there at the 8th, but again, it could have been worse. I think it's a great start for Tyler, and as all these players at 7 under.
Terrific starts. Week, you have to make birdies. We had a bunch today from those 4 top the leaderboard. Tyler McCumber, Hudson Swafford, Scott Harrington, Sepp Straka, 4 at -7 to share the lead as we continue PGA Tour radio coverage, third of 50 FedEx Cup events this season. It's round 1 of the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship.
Tournaments that we had over that stretch of, since June, weren't able to hold Pro-Ams. And Pro-Ams are such big money makers for the charity aspect of each of these events. And so we want to get that back. And then, again, hopefully, fans in the not too distant future, they'll be allowed onto the golf course and back to the tournaments. And, we can get back to normal.
It's a beautiful resort, and what a beautiful start for a lot of players. 4 golfers tied at 7 under. Tons of highlights. We'll check them in 60 seconds.
The defining moment happened on March 24th.
Day for scoring, we had a hole-in-one.
Kelly Craft at the par 3 9th. He's 2 under par, 183. Big, full, aggressive swing, and this ball is on a real good line. That is towards the flagstick, rolling in, and goes down. It's an ace. Kelly Craft finishes with a double circle, an ace at the 9th. He's 4 under.
Well, how about that for a player that's playing on a major medical extension, Earl? What a way to get it done. Big week for Kelly Craft.
Well, Sepp Straka set the early pace. He shot 7 under par 65 early. He was caught, though, in the afternoon by 3 players. One was Scott Harrington.
Scott Harrington inside 15 feet for birdie. He strokes the ball rolling towards the hole. Good line. Down it goes. Scott Harrington moves to 7 under par.
So another player in with a 65. Another one in the afternoon who'd get it. And to share the lead was Hudson Swafford.
Just inside 8 feet. That's for 31 on the back 9. Sends it to the cup and right in the heart again. Boy, what a clinic he put on. So Hudson Swafford finishes with a 7 under 65, 31 on the back 9.
Well, and a torrid finish on the back 9, which is not the place you get the score. Hudson Swafford did build to shoot his 7 under round.
Well, I think the key for Hudson Swafford is he's got a new mental coach. He reset on trying to get off his medical exemption and needs some FedEx Cup points to do it. He's got some tournaments to do it in, but he's got a different attitude, and it really played out well for him in this opening round. Made a bunch of putts on the back nine, 31 on the tougher nine on the golf course, and that included a long birdie putt at 14 and long par saves at 16 and 17. The big key for Swafford, can he keep it up for the next 3 days?
Well, the other guy, the other one of the four, topped the leaderboard after day one, got off to a good start on the back nine and finished strong on the front, Tyler McCumber.
Tyler right now walks into a birdie putt here above the hole at the par 5 7th. Now a little slider from 3.5 feet. Pulls the trigger to the cup. That one is center cut. And now your outright leader, Tyler McCumber, moves it to -8 with 2 to go.
Yeah, he would drop a shot at the 8th after a mistake out of the fairway bunker. Maybe lucky, who knows. Miss a good look for birdie at the 9th, but Tyler, 7 under par, currently a co-leader, but a really great ball striking day for Tyler. 12 of 14 fairways, hit 16 of 18 greens in regulation. And the only time he didn't get it up and down, Earl, was there at 8, where he was 1 of 2 for scrambling for the day.
And had a chance to bounce back. Couldn't convert the closing birdie at the 9th, but wow, what a run for him, especially in that front nine. Will Haskett, one of the many players who did get on runs. His was birdie eagle at 2, 3, and 4.
Hard to nitpick a guy when he goes out and matches his career low round in his PGA Tour career, but for Tyler McCumber, had it to 8 under par, and with 2 scoreable holes coming in, probably thought he could get it in at least -8, if not a little bit better than that. But he will get right back out on the golf course and take advantage of what I think is a property that really sets up nicely for him. Laid-back vibes, got that ocean that he loves so much off into the distance, and then couple that with the fact that he can really, really use his length to his advantage with these wide fairways. If the putter stays a little bit warm for Tyler McCumber, can put a number on the board tomorrow that everybody will have to chase after.
Well, and the guy that showed the way really early in the afternoon that those 7 under par rounds were out there was Scott Harrington, coming off a rookie season, a good one for him on the PGA Tour this past season, but a 39-year-old rookie and following it up at least for one day with a great start this week, Kevin Sylvester.
Yeah, really great story. His first year on the tour, finished 98th in the FedEx Cup, but wasn't satisfied with that. Took the 2 weeks he had off between the end of his season and the start of this season, really working on his swing. Well, it paid off today with a round of 65.
So those 4 players, 65s on day one, Sepp Straka, Scott Harrington, Hudson Swafford, and Tyler McCumber. Great days for all, and 4 rounds of 7 under to set the pace after day one. Catch our second round coverage from the Dominican Republic beginning Friday at noon Eastern on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. You remember you can always listen free on a computer or mobile device at pgatour.com/live audio or via the tour's official iPhone, iPad, and Android apps. We just brought Tyler McCumber home a few minutes ago. He's standing by right now after his 65 with Will Haskett.
Tyler, great start. Matches your career low on the PGA Tour. A lot of fairways, a lot of greens. That's the recipe.
Yeah, it is, definitely. It's always a good sign when you're hitting a lot of fairways and putting it pretty well. So felt pretty in control of the round today and got some momentum going early and kind of carried it through.
You talk about momentum. I would imagine this place has pretty good vibes for you. It's laid back. You got the ocean. Psychologically, you show up to a property like this. How good do you already feel?
Yeah, it does have good energy here. This was my first PGA Tour event 2 years ago in 2018, and I played pretty well in it then. So, you know, I definitely have good memories here as well. And then it's a pretty decent view, so not much to complain about here.
Any chance to get around and do anything while you're here? I know it's right now everything's kind of a little bit locked down compared to where normally things are, but do you look out there and see the surf and think to yourself, man, can I get out there?
Absolutely. Yesterday there was a swell hitting here that was like 10 to 15 feet, just about an hour and a half from here up the coast. But, you know, obviously we're pretty focused on what we're doing and trying to take care of business and a little bit limited with the COVID restrictions. So another year.
What do you take away from today into tomorrow that you really liked out of your game?
I thought I was pretty consistent, especially just with my effort. Put myself in really good spots on the par 5s. You know, if you play the par 5s well out here, you have a chance of shooting 7 or 8 under, if not lower. And so I feel like we did that pretty well today. And, yeah.
Great start. Keep it up.
Thank you.
It really is. But you can tell he's very comfortable. Earl, I think, he'd like to be out there doing a little surfing, but his focus needs to be on golf right now. There's plenty of time for that, as he said. But it helps. I mean, if you go, ever go back to a golf course that you enjoy, you have friends there or whatever. It could be on the beach. It could be wherever. If you feel good about where you're at, you have a much better chance of playing well and being successful.
Yeah, with the views, and it's a beautiful property, the Puntacana Resort and Club. It's hard not to feel good, and when you go out and shoot 7 under, like all 4 of these co-leaders, that just kind of puts a cherry on top. But Mark Carnival, we know the scoring was good today. It's taken 18 under the last 2 years. This has been a PGA Tour event. It was into the 20s when it was a Korn Ferry Tour event. So the reality is these guys got to keep it going.
Absolutely. I mean, as we see, you get to the cut, and this isn't a golf course that it's not a pitch and putt course. Certainly, these guys can take advantage of it. It's a resort course. I get that, but at the same time, it can be challenging, particularly with the wind conditions. Now, as we normally see, you get to the cut, and the lead's got a certain number. I mean, he can certainly increase that for sure, but you also feel like if you can be somewhere close, you're going to have a chance, because you can shoot low here, and it's not automatic that everybody shoots low. So I think if you're a player, the cut's going to be low. I mean, you want to try to be, through 2 days, you want to try to be maybe 8 to 10 under par, and then I would think you're going to have a good chance. I mean, right now the cut line is at 2 under. There's 77 players at 2 under par. I would suspect it's going to probably go to 4 under. And depending on the weather, I mean 3 under, but definitely 4 under and possibly even 5 under.
So the craziness of the numbers is that we had 3 of the 4 65s in the afternoon, but right now I'm looking at scoring. The field average for the second wave about a shot tougher than it was for the early guys out.
So there's been a handful more players play better than the morning, but a lot more players play worse in the afternoon than in the morning.
And
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that means those if the morning conditions are better, that's great. If you're 7 under, you're coming off a 65 and get to go out early, like these 3 guys that we followed coming in the afternoon.
I think it's going to be interesting to watch again tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot on the line for a lot of these players, and at the same time, it's not the end all if you don't win, but you want to get off to a great start in this season with a good finish and pick up plenty of FedEx Cup points so that it makes the rest of your season maybe a little easier. You don't want to ever come down, to the Wyndham Championship and realize, oh man, I've got to have a top 5 now. That's stress, Earl. You can get it done a lot earlier and relieve, sort of take some of that stress off your year.
Yeah, 4 players got it done today. Sepp Straka, Scott Harrington, Hudson Swafford, Tyler McCumber, tied for the lead after 7 under par 65s. If you didn't have access to a TV or the simulcast this afternoon, you can still catch a re-air of today's opening round telecast tonight starting at 7 p.m. Then again at 10 o'clock Eastern on golf. You can also catch a re-air of our broadcast tonight beginning at 9 p.m. in the East on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. Our broadcast team proud to don quality products from the following valued partners of PGA Tour Radio. Apparel provided by Cutter & Buck and PGA Tour apparel, hats from Imperial Headwear, umbrellas provided by Gusbuster,